Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to talk about being fed up. One of the things that I know is that my wife absolutely loves me. Holistically, she loves me, but I know for a fact that she does not love me every single day. She also doesn't love all of the actions that I take. Now, the truth of the matter is, our love of comics is very similar to my wife's love for me. She loves me holistically, but doesn't love everything about me. And I'm certain that she wishes that she could change a couple of things, but we are already down a road here with this life thing, so that's probably not going to happen. But the point here is that you can love comics and still be fed up with them. You can still want to take a break from comics to kind of recharge. Now, this is something that I've heard people say for years. I actually have a buddy that I messaged earlier today that I think is probably on a 5th month break from comics. And I don't know how extensive the break is, but I probably have not heard from him in about 5 months. And this is a guy that I used to hear from on a regular basis, used to create content, used to participate in live streams. I mean, he was a hardcore comic guy. And like I said, hasn't really been around for several months now. He is fed up and he is taking a break. Now, will he come back to comics? I honestly have no clue. My point here is that it is okay to be fed up with comics and to want to take a break. I was recently part of a live stream in which one of the guests that was on the show actually said something that I think summarizes some of this quite nicely.
This is a question I've been thinking about for a while, and I think I've been overanalyzing it a little bit because I realized throughout my collecting hobby, the times when I was kind of going harder with comics, it's when there were other things going on that I just didn't want to think about or address or anything like that. Now, since meeting my wife, my pull list has gone from this to this. And of course, since we had our son, it's gotten a lot more focused.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm in a point now where there's certain characters I'm done with. Like, I don't know that I could read another Batman story. I don't know that I could read another Spider-Man story. It's just, I feel like these mainstream characters are being played a little too safe. That's one of the reasons that I've enjoyed the Krakoan X-Men, because I was like, okay, wow, this is finally something different. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. As comic book fans, we all say, we want something different, but we still want it the same. And I'm like, no, give me something new.
So what's fascinating about this is that Philtastic actually said a lot in that comment. He said there was a lot there to unpack, and I don't think that we're going to get to all of it. But essentially what he was talking about was, being a little fed up with aspects of the hobby and reevaluating and reconsidering some of the things that he is choosing to do with his money and with his time. And I, again, think that it's actually okay to take a break from comics, to take time to reflect upon what it is that you have done to ensure that that is what you want to continue doing. Collecting comics for a lot of us can be an all-consuming type of activity for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's because of the medium itself or because of the type of people that oftentimes are attracted to this hobby, but we can be all consumed by comics, much like love, right? I've spoken about emotions a lot over the course of the channel's history. It can be an all-encompassing, all-consuming thing. And I think that it's nice to be able to create a little space, to be able to reflect, and to be able to think about what you're doing. Now, what's great is that this doesn't have to be a complete break from the hobby, right? You don't necessarily have to be buying comics to still be a collector or to still participate. You can actually be a part of the community. You can go and read old books that you've read and maybe you want to reread them. Maybe you even have books in your collection that you've never read before. And I know I do have books in my extended collection that I've never read before. And so part of what I do is I won't read as many new books, but I'll go and read some of the old books. I'll reread certain stories that I've read before that I really enjoyed to see whether I still enjoy them. I take time to explore other aspects of the hobby versus just maybe what I've been doing, which is buying and accumulating more comics. Phil also alludes to something else in his comment, and it was the aspect of downsizing his collection. I've heard people do this. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're reevaluating and you decide that there are certain genres or titles or time periods of collecting that you don't enjoy, it's okay to actually downsize those books and pass them on to someone else and then use those funds to focus on other things that you really are interested in. I know some people that will actually sell their comics. They will sell their entire collection. I get that, but I'll be honest, that is not something that I would encourage you to do. And part of the reason for that is because we are emotional creatures. And you might be in a moment where you are indeed fed up with the direction of the hobby for whatever reason. And you sell things off, and then a year, 2 years, 10 years from now, you might feel very different. So selling off an entire collection is not something that I recommend unless you need the money. If you need the money, do what it is that you have to do. But if not, I would encourage you maybe just to put the books to the side, forget about them, go on to other aspects of life that you want to enjoy. My overall point with this video is to let people know that it's okay to be fed up from time to time with the hobby. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to take a step back. It is okay to completely change directions of how you choose to collect. There is no wrong way to do this. It is okay to change your mind and to pivot. It's okay to completely walk away if that's ultimately what you decide to do. But you are not alone. There are a lot of people that have felt this way and have overcome it. There's a lot of people, hopefully after us, that might feel this way. But if you have taken breaks from comics for whatever reason and you found your way back to the hobby, found your way to be renewed again, I want to ask you to, down in the comment section, let us know how you did it. What prompted you to be fed up, and ultimately, how did you come back and what did you do different? I think if you have experienced this, if you can share your thoughts down in the comment section, I think that we can all learn from one another. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yo, should you practice art? Or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master. The one that's more than a rapper. The one that's an educator. The one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts. He's got the mindset expansive. He understands that it's time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan. Straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations. Synergy and combinations. You fly and we waiting. Indian style in the gold.